Hey, good morning, guys. I'm glad you decided to stop by and see me on this Thursday morning for Thursday Thoughts with the First Lady. And I just feel privileged that you decided to take the time to drop in. So I'm just sitting back here on my back porch and thinking about what I have to do today and trying to get up the energy to do it and the discipline to do it. You see, I don't know if you can tell from here, but Pastor David and I, we have a really large backyard. It's just really big. We have lots of landscaping and trees and tall pampas grasses and all that kind of stuff. And we're kind of frugal, so we take care of it all of it ourselves. We do all the mowing and we do all the weed eating and the weeding and just, all that kind of stuff. And we normally do that on either a Friday morning or a Saturday morning, depending upon the weather. If it's raining or whatever, then we get out and we get it all done. But one of my jobs that I do before we do that is I clean the yard. And what I mean when I say I clean the yard is I have a large dog. A yellow Labrador Retriever. Her name is Penny Lane, and I love my Penny. Most of you can probably remember that I'm a real big dog lover. So I love my Penny, but she is some work. So every weekend before we do that, I have to get out here and I have to clean the yard from the mess that she makes. And so that's what I've got to get up my energy to do today. So as I'm sitting here and I'm trying to get myself motivated to get out there and get it done, I happened to start thinking about it. And I thought, well, that's a good thought that I could share with my people today. Because you see, I'm real particular with my yard. And as I said, I clean it up normally every Thursday or early Friday morning. Because every Friday evening, our grandson Benjamin comes to spend the night with us. And Benjamin loves to play in the backyard. And him and I go out and we'll just play for hours. And, he plays in his playhouse and climbs the tree. And we play in the pampas grasses and pretend that that's our jungle. And we do all this stuff out there with Penny Lane, my lab, and we just play. Well, if I don't have the mess cleaned up in the yard before he comes, then you can imagine what happens. He steps in it. And I hate that, and he hates that, and because he doesn't like to get that dirty, and I don't like for him to get dirty. I'm very particular about that kind of stuff, especially that. And so as I'm thinking about that this morning, thinking, oh, well, I got to get this yard cleaned up before Benjamin comes over, I started thinking about you guys. Not that I was correlating you with a mess, but I was thinking about how sometimes in our lives we allow things to pile up. And it's things that shouldn't be in our lives or in our yard, if you will. And we just allow the mess to happen. It could be a mess of unforgiveness or bitterness, or maybe somebody hurt our feelings and we can't let go of it, or maybe we're a little bit prejudiced still and we can't get over that. Or maybe somebody did us a disjustice, an injustice, or a disservice, and we can't forget about it. Well, that stuff begins to pile up in your life and in your mind and in your head and in your spirit, and it begins to make a mess that you need to clean up. And so then what happens when we don't keep a regular check on our yard or on our spirits is that stuff piles up, and then before we know it, somebody comes along and steps in it. And the horrible thing about it is that it's usually someone young, like little Benjamin. And I don't mean young in age, but I mean it could be a baby Christian, or it could be someone that doesn't know the Lord. And they meet you and they think, wow, that's a beautiful yard. Those people seem awesome, because we look that way on the outside. So then they start hanging out with us and they get to know us. And before you know it, we're letting that bitterness show, or that unforgiveness, and they're beginning to experience our mess. They're beginning to see it, and they're beginning to step in it and walk in it. And all of a sudden, they don't like it. They don't like the way it smells. They don't like the way it feels. They don't like the mess that it makes. And they think, I could get that out in the world. Why am I spending time with this so-called Christian? So we end up losing them. Whether it's someone who doesn't know the Lord and they never come to the Lord because of this, or whether it's a baby Christian that we're trying to get to grow, that we lose just because we haven't cleaned up the mess in our yard. So I want to encourage you, self-examination on a regular basis is an awesome thing. Just to make sure that there's no mess piling up in your spirit or in your yard, if you will. The Lord really has me doing that on a regular basis, kind of like the psalmist David. He said, Lord, create in me a clean heart, renew a right spirit within me. If we could make that our daily prayer, we would have no mess, no garbage piling up in our spirits, in our yard. And we would be a great place to invite people to come in who are younger than us in the Lord or don't know the Lord. And they could get a true experience of what it is to be born again and a true experience of the awesomeness of God. So the thought I want to leave with you this morning is clean up the mess. Thanks for joining me, and don't forget to join me every Thursday for some thoughts. Love you guys and hope you have a great day. Peace out.